Previously on the Data Factory.
Let's have a look inside a typical SQL server. So with that, the installation is complete. That was it. Similarly, databases and the file type is MDF, also referred to as a primary data file. Select the top 1000 rows. Okay, it's ready for us to reuse. That was creating a table, insert into batch and go. Is null. We use between to avoid use of multiple equality operator and for applying range filter on numerical values. This is and gets precedence over or. And in case you wish to have control, please use parentheses. Hello and welcome to a new episode. Let us quickly open up SSMS. Our template for this session. Perfect. Alt Shift Enter. That's even better. So previously we have looked at SQL select queries, aliasing column names, introducing where clause, conditionals and comparators within a where clause, and or in, not in, use of null, is null, is not null, between, not between, etc. Here we will look at pattern identifiers while working with text. Cool. Let's jump into solving few questions. Now we should check what is the database we connected to its master. Let's change it. Alt Shift Enter. Let us point to employee database. That's fine. Okay, we could also do something else over here. As you have already seen earlier, we can directly write here and mention use employee database. So essentially it connects to the employee database for any queries that will be executed henceforth. So our first question is, requirement is reporting employees where the name starts with an R. Let's start selecting. Select staff from EMP, that's employee info, where EMP name like starts with an R. So this should be the query that will fetch us the required results. Great. So we do not have anything that starts with an R. Now why is that? Let us query okay. Within the results, nothing starts with an R. The question should be, let's say, a V. Okay. Let's look up for results that starts with a V. That way we can relate better. Yeah. Now you see, we have all the records wherein the employee name starts with a V, and there are total 4 records. So we introduce you to the like operator within SQL statement. It essentially uses a wildcard operator with the %sign that signifies 0 or more of any character. What do we mean by that? Whenever we mention that the employee name should be like within single quotes V and %. So you see we start with V That means the EMP name should start with the letter V, and the percent sign over here means it can be anything starting with nothing. Okay, so it can be just V, it can be XYZ, ABC, 999, whatever, right? And do remember, this is non-case sensitive as your earlier queries were. Moving on to the next requirement, we are supposed to report those employees with a name not starting with letter R. So let's change it to V over here, just to show you the remaining records, where EMP name we just mentioned not like, and we have the remaining records. Now you remember our earlier discussion with the special treatment that null has over here. So say if we use EMP country in place of name, and we mention this to start with C, and similarly not with C. In both cases, we should not be getting the result wherein EMP country is null, because null can resolve to any value. Let's query. You see all the Canadas are coming here and non-Canadas are coming, but the null are also not seen over here. Perfect. It was just to freshen up our memory. Let's move to the next one, where we need to select the employees whose name starts with letter J-O. Perfect. Let's copy it from here, where EMP name like J-O and percent. Right, so we have two records of employees whose name are starting with J-O, that are John and Joe. Now let's report employees whose name contains A. Perfect. Let us copy and then contains A. So we can have any number of characters before A and after A. So this is your result. Pretty simple. Report employees whose name ends with letter R. Okay, let us copy the query, like we need to end it with R. Perfect. So we have 3 records over here. Next up, we have employees whose name begin with an A, V or S. Okay, let us introduce you to using of brackets within the query over here. It's pretty helpful actually. Now, where EMP name, like, it should begin, right? So it can end with any number of characters, and then it can begin with A, V or S. So third brackets A, V, S. Now if we query this, we see all the results over here. See all the employee names. It's either starting with V, S or A's. So essentially the third bracket comes in handy to specify a range of values or values in itself. Now when we say range, let's pick up our next example, wherein we need to report employees whose name include any numeric value. So herein name includes, right? So it can be anywhere. at the end, in the front, or anywhere within the characters. So we percent in the beginning and at the end. Also here let us mention a range. Okay, you see we have two records wherein the employee name includes numeric values. So with that, we end this short and crisp episode. See you in the next one. Cheers.